Here are some highlights of this program.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to Brainstorm exclusive interview.
Our education should be corrected, adapted, and updated.
Live better, they can send their children to school because they can interact with their authorities.
Mechanics, electricity, computer science, innovation,
And we know that this brainstorm.
Yourself, after watching this interesting program, notice the final statement made by our notable guest, a brand new one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Brainstorm exclusive interview. Congolese education system and globalization. What kind of education should be promoted? Parental or school education? Does Congolese education system still matter in the context of globalization? What is a quality education that provided by public or private schools? To answer or address all these main points, I'm happy to welcome on the stage Eloge Mulumba. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yes, I want to tell you that Eloge Mulumba is a translator and an English, a teacher of English. All right, now here we are.
Yes.
I'm really delighted just to welcome you on the stage.
Thank you. I'm also deeply humbled to receive your invitation, and I did not hesitate any time to respond. Thank you.
Okay, just to remind you, Congolese education system
Yes.
and globalization.
Exactly.
That is a notion, broadly speaking,
Yeah.
in your understanding. What is Congolese education system?
When they say education system, my sense is that it's the way a state or a country organize its educational system. By the way, maybe they cut schools into groups, like districts, like territory, like provinces, things like that. And it also helps to identify the country or its educational system toward the world. This is my first thoughts about the question.
Okay, so general idea or concept of education system, not only Congolese, is what you just come to explain.
Yeah.
But now, Congolese education system is based on what?
Generally, the way they teach us, I think we are based on degree. What I mean by degree is that everybody is fighting to have a degree and to be recognized in the society because of that degree. So we base really on degree, but not exactly on skill, because if we were based on skill, we could have maybe based on data, knowing which area should be covered the most and which one should be maybe empowered the most. This is, yeah.
Okay, so
my
now,
understanding of the question.
That education system is originated with who? You think that Congolese people started that education system themselves?
I don't think so.
Back,
I guess
it
came to back to maybe 19th. It was created or designed by Belgians. They were our colonists, and before they leave the country, they supposed to entrust us with some facilities and some also programs as well. So they designed this education system we have up to today.
Okay, so back then when Belgians or colonizers, they put in place an education system which was really focused or shaped to solve some problems then and today. So what kind of problems Congolese education based on a Belgian system already solved so far?
For me, it did not solve anything.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Because when they were supposed to leave after independence, all Congolese people were keen to get a degree because the country needed executive, the country needed managers. But this was just maybe for 1 or 2 years after the independence. But for the rest of the time, we need workflow, we need task force, we need people who are literate, who are skills for works that can help the society to grow. But now you see that the same system, as it was persistent, they kept to give people like degrees when they graduate from high school, and in their mind, the first thing to do is they have to join public administration, which is false, because there it's work for career and it's not for business. So we need entrepreneur. We need people who are like self-independent, not like thinking of joining public administration, because when they join them, the public administration, which is almost full, and when it is full, they just go there not for working, they just go there maybe for a tour.
You mean that, or having a degree is not a reflection of what someone has learned at high school? You reject that idea, so someone can't be hired without having a degree. So the degree does not at all reflect somebody's knowledge just to occupy a public administration position?
Maybe I'm going to translate my answer again. I don't think that the degree is what represents someone's skill. I don't think so, because we need, if we go like, we see like Microsoft and all the thing we use with gadgets, those people or those owners of, the owners of those company did not maybe study. Like when you follow like the life maybe of Bill Gates and others, they did not really study, they don't have a degree. But what they created is like a powerful tool, even for executive, even for people out of business. When I say that the degree is not worth, I mean that we cannot limit the life of people or the life of Congolese to earn a degree. What we need is to give people the possibility to be skilled. When they are skilled, we have resolved maybe 80 or 90% of the issue. This is what I think.
Okay, let us be more pragmatic.
Yes.
It seems that knowledge acquired at school does not benefit Congolese citizens. Is that true?
I think it's true, because it's more generic.
How do you account
generic. For it? My background, I'm a translator. I learned translation at university. You will see that in the program, the way the program is designed, they put enough program from other disciplines, which, by the way, is not supposed to help us, because when you finish like in a specific area, you need to get what they call specialization. Might be specialized maybe in legal translation or in economic text translation, things like that. So I have the possibility to choose my path. But when they entrust me with all the knowledge of the world, I don't have the possibility to focus and to be better in one science or in one subject. So this does not really help people, because whenever you practice, the more you practice one science, the more you practice one discipline, the better you get.
Over the past years, it's been a campaign just to fight against the fight against anti-values, or just to help Congolese citizens reform their mentality or mindset.
Yes.
It was very tough, just let's admit it. But now, you think that parental education or school education, both, which should be promoted in order to help many Congolese people reform their mindset or their mentality, because this is part of education as well?
Yes. My first sense is, when we see the word education, from its Latin root, it means bringing someone out of ignorance. So the way even parents are doing, even school is doing, it's the same. The scope is to remove people from ignorance. So if the parents fail, the school can back up. If the school fail, maybe the parent can back up. So I guess both of them are very important, and parents should be able to entrust or to give the best inheritance to their kids, which is education. So they shape their personality, they shape who they will be for the society in the future. When we talk about anti-values, we have many ways or many broadcast channels that can help people go out of the way, and also the way, keep them in the way. Because our country is a lay country. We have many religions. People claim to be believer. But when we see the way those believers behave, we question their faith. For me, also, that education or that culture of values should get everybody involved, from politics, from people in politics, from entrepreneurs, from everybody, even grassroots. So everybody should get involved in order to give people the possibility to know what is good to do, and also the development we want when we try to fight about, against anti-values, is also to have some kind of constraint. If people don't feel that constraint or that law enforcement, it's like good for nothing. So all the efforts will be for nothing.
The fundamental problem is for them to see education system, Congolese education system, to be effective, needs or should include national languages. That if there are some materials taught in national languages, things could get better.
Yeah, there are many things to say about the question. First of all, I always advocate for national languages because I'm kind of applied linguist, because there are some things that people can be able only to say in their mother tongues. And French or English or every other languages we learn comes from abroad. And we need also to empower our own languages. And to do that is just a matter of will. We don't have the will. And the way maybe they educated us since our childhood, when you try to speak Lingala or Swahili or Chiluba, depending on the area of the Congo where you are located, they will tell you that this is not the language of educated people. So I think we should also stop saying these things to our kids in order to make them also value the work. I myself have worked for an international organization in translating some interviews made in Lingala into French and into English. So it's very important also, to value those languages.
But it is said that Lingala or other national languages are poor in comparison with French, English, because there are some technical terms which are impossible to translate into from English, French into national languages.
My background in university taught me what they call discursive creation. So it is also possible or always possible to create new terms or new words to designate things we see around us. It's just a matter of will, as I said before, because French, they have the French Academy. I guess English they do as well. They have books, they have research. And if you see all the people who were here in the past, they have some Kikongo learning books, some Lingala learning books written in English. So if those languages were poor, how could they come and learn them?
But you agree there is some context, they're hard to translate.
It's not hard to translate, we need to work on it. Did we have any founds? Did we found any research professor or teachers to address the question?
You personally, do you have any project in that field?
Personally, I don't have any projects, but with everything we have done in the professional world, we can understand that if we had found it, if we had found to carry out such projects, we can be successful. Because we have a professor at university who translated that chemical tab, whatever, into Lingala for his thesis. So he published, I guess, 2 or 3 books out of all the articles and dictionaries of 4 national languages, including French and English, like French and English and the translation of the word in 4 national languages. I have also like in my computer, it's an electronic document of over 1,000 pages, which is a Lingala and French dictionary. So we did not have the time to broadcast our own language. We don't use it. We use French. We use foreign language. And ourselves, we are not proud of our inheritance. We are not proud of our own culture. How could we value it if we don't consider it to be valuable?
Okay. We know that we live in a globalization era.
Yes.
So you think that Congolese education system meets the demands of globalization?
I don't think so, because when you tell me globalization, what I understand is togetherness. I understand interconnectedness. So when you are interconnected, when the whole world becomes like a small village, it means everybody is selling his culture, everybody is selling their identity. So what are the identity of the Congolese people? We have like more than 400 mother tongues or local languages, and places to see as well for tourism and for everything. So we need also to put those things forth. And also in globalization, we see that our education should also meet some international standards. We have a program which has been entrusted us by the colonists, and we did not have the time. Personally, I don't think we did not have. We had the time to correct, to adapt, and to update that program. And when we do that, it's not like updating it like copy paste or checking what other people are doing, because what they do it maybe in the light of research. They make some research, some surveys to know what is the need of the population before they design any program. I guess we have also to do that. We have also to have the culture of making research or making surveys before taking any decision. It's very important.
But now, you mean, honestly speaking, that Congolese education system doesn't matter in the context of globalization?
No, I don't think so, because whenever we leave the country with our degree, it's worthless. When you go out, sometimes like they just see your degree as a paper. You're supposed to go back to the drawing board. Can you imagine that?
But
so someone has spent maybe 5 years here. When he goes out, it's like 3 years equivalent.
But we got a lot of Congolese graduates. They are abroad, they study, they pursue their higher education.
When they go, for most of them, they resume class. And when they resume class, supposedly they go to pick up maybe science and technology and come back to develop the country. But when they go, they never come back. And sometimes they were funded by the government to go. And when they go, they change maybe nationality. So it means sometimes also we have that lack of fairness. Okay, we have that lack of fairness and fidelity in the sense that we agree for one thing, and when we arrive or we receive what we wanted to have, and we change the face, or we change the perspective, which is not honest. We need also people who are willing to come back with the new technology, new insight, and new perspective to change things in our country.
Congolese constitution provides a free education.
Yes.
And the other states wanted just to implement that provision. Mm-hmm. So you think this is part of a solution, just to make our education valid in the context of globalization?
I think it's a valuable decision, because when they say education, as I said, it's about bringing people out of ignorance. And it's just a step to encourage, because it's a beginning, and the results of this program or of this decision will be able to be seen, or we can see the results of this decision maybe in the long run. It's not going to be able, we are not going to be able to notice those results just in few years, because it's just like 1 year ago now, yeah. And it's going to help maybe to meet globalization standards, in the sense that they start decreasing the rates of people or of kids not going to school, because they say it's about 3.5 million of kids who are not going to school. And when they go to school, maybe 67% of them are going to finish their primary school. And those who finish their primary school, maybe 25% of them are going to high school. You see, so the way they go, the trend is to diminish the numbers of people who are getting educated.
And a part of the problem could be solved as like illiteracy. high rate of illiteracy, but free education, most of kids home and would be able just to access education, even the basic education, elementary school, kindergarten, elementary school, even higher education. You think that part of the problem would be solved?
I guess part of the problem will be solved. But in the long run, we need also to try to address other issues that could raise.
As a teacher yourself,
Yes.
teacher of English,
Yes.
what type of materials should be taught in schools? Those related to handicraft learning or office work?
I think people have the freedom or that liberty to choose their path, okay, or their professional orientation. The language is just a tool of communication. We teach English to people because they need a new tool of communication, and English is considered to be a lingua franca. It means you're not native of that language, but you can use it just for communication because now English is also the language of science. Myself, when I made research for my dissertation at university, I had access to more content when I made research in English than when I made research in French, you see. So for people, it might be interesting to learn the language for a specific purpose. When you learn for a specific purpose, you know what you're doing. But when you just learn for the sake of learning, you don't know, you lost, because no here is favorable for any boats that does not have a destination. So you should have a destination so that you can get the gist of all the materials you have handy.
And now, as far as the handicrafter is taken for granted at DRC, so what do you think? Which option is the best? Office or work just to be taught at school, or handicraft
I think
for development?
I think handicraft for development, because with handicraft we may include also agriculture and all the work like related to maybe keeping livestock and things like that. Because when you see in public administration, as maybe I have said to friends a while ago there, you will see people, plenty of people in administration, but they don't have anything to do there. They just come and they sign and they go back home. They don't work exactly. This was the need of the past. When the colonies was still here, we did not have our own executive or our own managers. At that time, it was worth to have people going to public administration. But for now, we need handicraft.
So I'd like you to touch on something relevant today: reading habits.
Yeah.
Lost by most people, educated and uneducated people. They have no interest in learning to find out new things, science and other things. Do you have any comment?
My comment is that the social environment in which we live does not promote values, does not promote knowledge, because they will see someone very intelligent, is clever, he reads a lot, but he doesn't have, there are not any outcome for that person. He is not successful. So people think that, okay, why should I lose my time learning, reading, and doing all this stuff for nothing at the end? For myself, I think we need also to promote, readings, to promote science, to promote everything, so that people can have that taste of going back to reading.
Okay, so quality education, that provided by public or private schools?
I think it's both, because teachers or professors, sometimes you think you will see them teaching in both public school or private school. But the privates, they have enough funds, they have enough money to buy equipment, to buy materials, so that the students can be in good conditions. By the public schools, you will see that the state is kind of resigning and from that responsibility. So if the state could have also the same funds to empower or to entrust school with equipment, that will help. It's going to be good, because we have seen friends finishing or graduating from private school, but they are not really successful. It's all about individual.
Okay, this is the last question now.
Thank you.
What does the future hold for the Congolese education?
For me, as my last word to your last question, our education should be corrected, adapted, and updated, because we cannot stand still with one program. We need to adapt it. We need to see what is the real needs of the population and address the issue through education.
Eloge Mulumba, thank you for joining us on this stage.
Thank you
I'm
for
happy just
your
to
invitation.
welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Ladies and
much.
gentlemen, if you yourself, after watching this interesting program, notice the final statement made by our notable guest, a brand new one, that our education system, or Congolese education system, should be adjusted to globalization to make things move forward and to help folks, students learn in order to achieve their project, whatever they want to do in their life. Thank you for watching, and stay with us. In upcoming days, we will be with you together.